Hello, everyone. My name is Souvik Mazumdar, and I'm a lawyer by profession, partner at a firm called ALMT Legal. And I am the member of the Global Media and Entertainment Committee of DLC, the Della Leaders Club, the Bangalore chapter. Today, I'm here to talk a little bit about the essence and the importance of copyright in today's content and media and entertainment world. It is very important for us to understand why the content driven company needs to protect their content which they're creating. Last 2 years, we have been hit by COVID-19 pandemic, and a lot of people were obviously, staying at their home and doing things from their home. During such time, what we have seen is a lot of intellectual mind coming up with content which were very interesting in nature and obviously unique and completely new. We have seen people getting into the influencer mode on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media platform. Suddenly, Instagram picked up so much that our half of the day was spent looking at new content on Instagram. Similarly, the rise of the OTT platform was something which was very, very new and which kept us busy during the lockdown and the pandemic time. The question comes is, yes, people are intellectual in nature and in their mindset. They are sitting and creating content which are so nice and so unique. But what if that content is not protected under the law or not protected from being copied by someone else? That's where the copyright comes into picture. It is very important for us to understand as a layman what is copyright. Copyright is something which is governed under the copyright laws of India, which is the Copyright Act of 1957. And it is typically a type of an intellectual property. Intellectual property can be in the form of patent, it can be in the form of a trademark or design or copyright or geographical indication. Copyright is one of the most important intellectual property which the media and entertainment sector needs to keep in mind. What happens in copyright is you are given a chance to protect your literary, your dramatic, your musical work that you have created, which is absolutely unique and original in nature, so that somebody else do not take it from you and create a copied version of it and make money out of it. As I was mentioning, during this last 2-3 years, what we have seen is the boom in the media entertainment industry. If you pick up latest reports to read how the industry is shaping up in next 5-6 years, it will be huge. And with the kind of content we are seeing in Amazon, Netflix, Hotstar, Voot, Z5, every day you switch on the TV, you get to see some 10 new content which are worth watching and binging. The concept of binging, which has started over the last 2-3 years, you take a series, a 10 episode series, you want to finish it in one go because they are so interesting and so new with its concept. So when you're creating something like that, isn't it important that you, as a creator of that content, a production house or the producer, need to protect it to ensure that tomorrow somebody else is not making the same thing and making money out of it? Let's take an example of a famous series like Money Heist, which came out on Netflix few years ago. It started with season 1, people loved it. Season 2, 3, 4, and to the extent season 5 was bifurcated in 2 parts. People were glued to their TV out there because it was about a concept of few people going inside the bank and robbing the bank, but ensuring that the people outside cannot do anything to them. That particular series garnered so much of viewership across the world. And now they're trying to make it in different language. We have a Korean Money Heist now. People in India are talking about making something based on that. But it's very important when you conceptualize something like this, which is so unique and which is gaining so much of popularity, you need to go and protect it and to ensure that somebody else don't pick it up from you and monetize it or exploit it. It is your baby. You have spent years nurturing it. You have spent years with your patience and hard, earned time and so much of effort to create something which is worth owning and worth exploiting across the world. Why somebody else should gain the benefit out of it? Copyright is something through which, when you protect your work, whether it's a musical work, it can be a song, it can be a lyrics, it can be a composition of a music, it can be a script, or it can be a story. When you protect it under this particular law, what happens is tomorrow you can go and either license it to a third party or do an outright sale to a third party and make money out of it. But if you don't protect it, tomorrow you cannot claim ownership over it. Somebody else, if they copy that entire thing and infringe it and try to make money out of it, If you go and challenge it, saying that this is something which I have created and it is my content and it's my ownership, but if you don't have a registration of copyright to prove that, it can be very difficult. It depends absolutely on that situation or on that case basis who owns that particular thing. So from that perspective, it is very, very important that, the protection is the need of the time. Let's talk about characters that you create. During this pandemic, we have seen influencers who probably had 200, 250,000 followers on Instagram for last 4-5 years till 2020. Suddenly, in 8 months, quadrupled their followers because they were sitting in their drawing room, in their bedroom, and from their iPhones and smartphones, were creating such lovely, new, unique content. It can be something which is comical in nature. It can be something based on the current affairs that's happening. It can be based on the tax regime of the country, or it can be based on anything. But it was worth watching them over and over again. Now, if you do something like that and which picks up, which suddenly becomes a rage, production houses wants to come to you and wants to tell you that, okay, can you create a lovely content for me, like a 1-hour content with this character? Wouldn't you want to monetize that particular option? Obviously, you will. But in that scenario, you need to ensure that tomorrow nobody else takes away that opportunity from you and tries to monetize it from their aspect. That's where this entire requirement of the need of the hour, protection of the content via copyright laws is required. It is sometimes people think that, okay, the moment I need to protect something under the legal regime, it can get a little tricky and cumbersome in nature. But that's not the case. The laws, the way it is written and the way the procedures are kept in place, it's very simple. It's very easy. As long as your work is genuine, your work is original, your work is not copied from someone else, or a third party is not challenging the ownership of the work, you can go and you can copyright that particular work and get protection over it. So that's very critical. I personally feel with the way the industry is going, whether it's a proper big budget movie, a 3-hour movie, or a short film, or a small concept that you have created, or a series that you have created, or any sort of content that you feel can tomorrow be big enough to get you a lot of name, fame, money, and obviously something that you can take out to the market and say, this is my work and I want to exploit it in whichever manner, should be copyright protected. So keeping these things in mind, from my perspective, what I would want to, enlighten my viewers today is the fact that this is something which is very critical and need of the hour. And when you look into it, you will realize that, yeah, it will require some effort to go and, do the requirement of filing the forms or paying some money or, writing the details about the concept that you're talking about. But the moment you get that protection under the law, you will feel much more safeguarded. You will feel that, yes, I am the true owner of this particular property that I have created at my backyard. So that's very, very important. So I hope, with this talk, I've been able to touch base on the basics of the copyright requirement for media and entertainment business. And this will definitely help my listeners to understand more about the requirement and the value of the protection of content. I believe that this talk today will be very helpful and insightful to all my listeners. I would now like to thank DLC for giving me this opportunity to come and present this talk today. And obviously, I would like to thank Mr. Jimmy Mistry for giving me this opportunity to present this DLC talk, and also for making me a part of Della Leaders Club. Thank you.